Happy to see you back, especially if you saw my last video. I'm glad you're back. I am welcoming any new subscribers, and I hope you stay with me for a good long while. If you didn't see my last video, then you may want to go and listen to it first. I was setting up why I'm going to be doing two more, this one and another video on what I'm calling the sweet imposition of Christianity. I'll call it sweet. I'll call it sweet. I'll call it sweet. The sweet imposition of Christianity, meaning you meant to do well, but sometimes going about it the wrong way. This is going to be being pushed off of, as I said earlier, my reflection and reverse reflection of Martin Luther King, Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., his I have a dream, if that dream has been realized or if it was lived in vain. And the question was asked of his kids. And then I also bounced that off of the fact that he is first a reverend and the Christianity came before everything else. So having said that, I am wanting to share observation that I had just yesterday too. And so this lines in it. And this is actually what pushed me into saying, okay, it's time to record. It's time to record this. I had ordered lunch. And this is a restaurant that to me is not in the best neighborhood. It's not an unsafe neighborhood, but it's not the best neighborhood. I typically order it, pick it up, and just leave because they have really good food. Some of these restaurants, these small ones are just like, oh, they got such good authentic food. And it was really good. When I got there, it wasn't ready now. They're not so fancy with the technology, so I didn't really, call it. I had to call it in. So having said that, and this just happened, I think, yesterday, day before yesterday. I'd gone to get my food and it wasn't quite ready. And across the street is a pet store. And I thought, okay, while they make it fresh, they hadn't really even started on it, I guess. I am going to just walk across the street and shop for my dog, buy him some toys and some treats while I wait. As I was crossing the street, it's a major street. It's a major street. So I was waiting for the light. And at the light, there was two young ladies. They had to be, I want to say, early 20s. They were passing out tracts. And they said, would you like a tract? And I said, okay. I took it, no problem. And then they asked another person who was standing at the light, and she said, no, thank you. And they seemed to have gotten offended by that. And so then one steps up and she says, would you like me to pray for you? And the woman just turned her head. And she said, well, I could pray for you. She says, I could pray for you. You know, Jesus loves you. The woman is not responding. Now the light, we're waiting for this light. And I thought, As the light changed for us to walk across, the woman who was not receptive to their inquiries said to them, if Jesus loves us so much, why is the world such a mess? Now, in my mind, I was like, but in my mind, I thought in ministry, in mature ministry, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity to witness to this person. This is an opportunity to share. This is an opportunity to hear her. Because before, she said nothing to you. When you asked her, would you like a tract? She just kind of nodded her head. Would you like us to pray for you? She nodded. She didn't even say a word to you the whole time. You know, Jesus loves you. And she just kind of stood there. But now as she's crossing the street, she's saying, if Jesus loves me so much, why is everything so much? Well, she went on to say, look at everything, look at the homeless situation. And she went on. And I'm thinking, now it's time to cross. It's time to cross the street. Now they're kind of walking and talking, and I'm kind of walking ahead, but I'm curious, are they going to take this opportunity? I'm thinking to share with this woman. That's what they were trying to do, I thought. Guess what they did? They started speaking in tongues and rebuking her. They started, I mean, I don't even know, I don't even mark it, but I can't. But they started speaking in tongues to each other and rebuking her. And I thought, oh my God, literally, oh my God, what kind of witness are you? This is a woman who has a concern and is a hurtful concern. And you're rebuking her? You're speaking in tongues against her? That showed me right then and there, there's no maturity in the ministry. Because the first act of true ministry is the kindness of the heart and the consideration of the person by whom you're trying to minister to. So again, the first act of ministry comes from the kindness of the heart and the care and the consideration of the person by whom you're ministering to. Because true ministry, you're ministering to people who are supposedly lost souls. You're street witnessing. You don't know their walk and their plot in life. Now, I'm just going to chalk this up to their inexperience. But do you think that person felt any more loved by Jesus when they were rebuking her with speaking in tongues? They start back, however they do it. I'm not even going to do it because I don't want to be sacrilegious. But you know what speaking in tongues can be like. First of all, if you're speaking in tongues to a non-believer, they have no idea what you're saying. And if you're truly speaking in tongues, there should be someone else to interpret it clearly in translation to the person. None of that was there. None of that was there. So in my view, you were babbling the Bible. You were babbling between you. And to me, it was a letdown. To me, it was a shortcoming. To me, it was a missed opportunity. To me, it was immature. To me, it was wrong. It wasn't a good demonstration. Now, you could say, oh, just blame it, just chalk it up to them. But think about how the woman felt. Think about how the offer they had first given her, quickly within the change of a light, switched around the other way. At least I took the track. Because I feel whatever, at least I took the track. And this is what I mean by not the purification of your heart. If the purification of your heart is coming from creating me a clean heart, to renew a right spirit within me. I believe Psalms 34. And I'm distant from the Bible, but I've had it implanted in me for long enough that I could and bring it back. It is the conduct of the person. It is the ways of the person. It is not the righteousness, because the righteousness ain't always right, because this was altogether wrong. And everybody who can watch this video would give a reason for what it could have been and how it could have been, and they wouldn't have did it and all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, this is not uncommon. This is not uncommon. And so it gives a negative demeanor on the view of Christianity as a whole, because they were out there with tracts, is what I'm saying. Now, it may not be you, it may not be your church, you may know better, I may know better, but this happened recently. And if you are sent out as a representative or an ambassador of Christ. And look how that looked, is what I'm saying. And I'm not one to correct anyone on their Christianity. We all have our own walk in life. But this one thing I do know. I am fully responsible for this life. And I'd rather be a no good person altogether than a bad Christian in one opportunity like today. It's just not worth it. because the look you give Christianity. We are all to walk our own walk, to talk our own talk, to live your best life, to treat others kindly, to purify your heart, to cleanse your mind, to open your soul, to be a vessel, to be an ambassador, to love one another. What would Jesus do? And all of this. And that has nothing to do with the religion itself. That has everything to do with personhood. Now, what people want to often say to me is, oh, you're more of a humanist than you are strictly a Christian, because a humanist wants the best for everybody. Well, doesn't Christianity? Doesn't Christianity care for everyone abroad? Is what I'm saying. This is why I don't pour, braid, intertwine, or loop in religion and politics into my channel. And boy, have people asked me to do it. I'm not going to do it. I've had so many of my Christian friends say, oh, Sheri, you could be such a vessel for the Lord with your channel. No, you can be that. You can be that. I'm a vessel for the Lord by the way I live my life. I'm a vessel for the Lord by being a good, righteous person. I'm a vessel for the Lord by representing a truth and not a falsified life. Understand me. Respectfully. It is not a religious and or Christianity embarkment for me anymore. With all due respects, I'm far beyond that. With all due respects, I'm far beyond that, because that could be limiting, just like what happened today. I want to love everyone. I want to belong to the entire world. I want to invite you in, not turn you off like they did, and all of that. What does that mean? I want to have a conversation with someone who practiced Buddhism and stand my ground in my Christianity, should it be necessary. But I'm not intimidated by speaking to someone else who has a different belief system. Be a good person. Be a loving person. Be a non-judgmental person. And don't dare slash your tongues on people. You are out of line to do that. Respectfully. I love you. I love you. But you are out of line if you are demanding in your delivery. Because nobody can save your soul for you. And you are not to castrate a person because they carry a broken heart from their point of view. Your cleansed heart could have mended that heart, but you missed the opportunity to do that. Now, young women, they may never see this, but whomever is doing it, don't turn your back on a person who turned their back on your Jesus. Help them find their way back home. That would be the Christian thing to do. So I think the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them to do to you. Okay? And I love you. I'm sorry I saw that. It was heartbreaking to see that. But nonetheless, tune in tomorrow, my next video rather, and I am going to be speaking about the next portion of this, and that is representation of the imposition of Christianity, the representation of it. And don't be mad at me, and I love you. If you've gotten this far, please click like. If you post a comment, be kind in your comments, even towards me. All right? I love you. See you next time. Have a good one. Bye.